Hey, there, guys, it's Metro. That's what I was supposed to say, but anyway, we're back with another dungeon for you, and this is probably going to be the last one in the monk line. I'm showing this one off specifically because we actually have two elemental shamans, which I still marvel at. I have not seen the three that I uploaded, the one in the previous video, and then this one here. These are the only three elemental shamans I've seen on this beta test. And they're not bad, man. They're not bad at all. These guys are relatively equally geared. Everybody's now. The reason I'm gonna probably be done here with the monk is because things are starting to get a little out of control. I'm starting to overgear things. People are starting to overgear things, and I want to kind of use the time I have left on the beta to test other tank classes. So I'm gonna do blood DK and do a little bit more prot warrior. I may not see much on the channel, but either way, that's kind of my plan. I've been streaming regularly, so you can check that out if you guys want to see that. The link is down below. But what we're going to talk today about is just kind of how I think tanks are forming into the beta's niche. I've heard a lot of discussion about this. I've heard a lot of people, people have even asked me this personally, said, hey, will you do a video on, what the best tank is basically and how and why it's good. I don't want to do that because I am going to be wrong. That's the facts of it, okay? So anybody who does do that is also wrong. I'm telling you that right now. Even the top world players are going to be wrong to some degree. They may predict pretty correctly because they've actually tested quite extensively, but like the casual WoW people who covered this game making these types of videos, they're just doing it for views, all right? There's no way anybody could know what the best tank is going to be this tier until you get the set bonuses and you see every single mechanic on the fight, how the set bonuses play for them, how the meta evolves, okay? But that doesn't mean we can't speculate. All right, so right now it seems like consensus is that Paladin and Blood DK are among the best. A lot of people like Blood DK because of the intense amount of healing they can do. They have a lot of healing, so I decided, it's finally time for me to step into the ring and throw my hat at the Blood DK. I played Blood DK a lot in WoD, and it was exclusively because it was so insanely overpowered in challenge modes. I love doing challenge modes. And I always wanted to play Monk. Like Monk, I played in Mob for the same reason, and I grew to love it. I really did. It changed a lot over the time, but I thought I got pretty good at it towards the end of Mob. And then they kind of ruined its potential. Like 5-mans were, CMs especially, were a little bit, the grips and the gore fiends and the grips and the dark sims were a little bit too important. No matter what Monk brought, those two things were a little bit too important. So had to play that. But now that's kind of gone. Gore fiend's still in the game, but not what it wants to be, and of course Dark Sim is now PvP stuff only, so that's gone. So I think this will be a good expansion to kind of let loose on 5-man tanking. So I really want to play Brewmaster. As you see, I'm doing a lot of damage, guys. This is a really fun class. It's got a lot of fun stuff. Now after those talent changes, which I made a video on last week, they can do a lot of damage. They feel a lot more flexible. In fact, I did some normal raiding last night. They opened up the first 3 bosses of the normal Dark Heart. No, what the hell is the name of it? Nightmare, Emerald Nightmare. I streamed that as well, so you guys should check that out if you want to take a look at that. But it was a bit too. It was like 2 hours, so I can't really upload that to YouTube. But yeah, I did it as Brewmaster, and it was quite good actually. We had enough healers, so I figured, hey, might as well tank. I wanted to see how Brewmaster played, especially in a situation where we were all scaled up. Since we were indeed all scaled up, that was pretty cool. And I did a lot of damage, guys. I was like 3rd on every fight. We had good buddy Diabolical, Sarah, Juggalo. These guys are in our guild. So it was like Unholy DK, BM Hunter, Fury Warrior, and then me. And then we had like a Combat Rogue, a Windwalker Monk. I guess that's, 5 DPS. So, but yeah, I was doing about 100k in that raid on a boss, guys. 100k, not bad at all. If you ask me, I was pretty satisfied with that. But does that mean that they're going to be good at tanking progression? No, it does not. I mean, I was doing really good damage, but I have a feeling other tanks could do it. The other tank I was with was Morgraine. He's a very good player, but he's making some kind of excuse about Consecrate. I don't know. He says it's bugged and that he obviously could do a lot more damage if it wasn't bugged. I don't know anything about that. I played Prop Paladin a little bit yesterday, and I didn't have any issues, but yeah, I don't know. So regardless, we didn't have a good comparison. But I think a lot of people are saying that Blood DK is doing insane. They're able to do large single target as well as AoE, just like Monk. They're able to, stay alive very easily. The thing about Blood is their kit is quite odd. It's like, I don't know if this is broken right now, but the bone shield thing doesn't deplete when you take damage. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to, so I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, it's like a 20% reduction from building up bone shield, which is like a rotational ability now. Every time you use it, you get 3 charges of the bone shield, and then that reduces a percentage of your damage. And then it also gives you haste for some reason, but it can stack up, and I assume the stacks are meant to be there because when you take a hit, the stack goes away. But that is not currently happening to me, at least not while I'm leveling. So I don't know if something's bugged there or what's happening. But either way, that's a really strong ability. If presuming it does actually work the way I expect it to, it's still strong. But right now, it's fucking unbelievably broken. And then they have a heal. They still have their rotational heals. They still have Bone Storm, which is a big AoE heal, basically. And then they have their artifact weapon, which is an AoE frontal cone. And then as much damage as you do, it heals you. So, you basically have a lay on hand there. You don't have Death Pact anymore, but you don't really need it because you have the artifact, which is a 45-second CD. So they have the best self-healing in the game without question. I thought Demon Hunters was good. Demon Hunters is good, but theirs is a little bit more like hot healing. They can heal a lot over time with the Sigils of Flame and the fire rune or whatever, the fire trait, the golden trait in the artifact. But Blood just heals a lot all the time. And they still have Vampiric Blood, I guess. Yeah, Vampiric Blood, which is a 1.5 minute CD. And there's even a talent to every time you do something or other, I don't even remember. But every time you spend runic power, you take a few seconds off Vampiric Embrace. Or Vampiric Blood, whatever it's called. Either way, very, very, very strong healing kit. And their mitigation kit is not really existent, but the main mitigation they have, of course, is the Bone Shield thing. And then they also still have Rune Tap. I think it's still called, maybe it's Blood Tap. I don't know. It's like the weird red cross carved into like gray stone, that icon. Very overpowered ability in Mop and WAD. Everybody said, WAD especially, everybody said that, they took it out at one point. They made it heal again. I think that's how it used to be. But now it's back and it's a talent. So I think that's a really strong ability as well. So those things together, yeah, Blood seems really crazy. So, but then again, Paladin seems even crazier because now they don't have great healing, but their heal is actually the more damage they take, the better healing they have. And they have a really, really great active mitigation. They have the most potent active mitigation. The thing I just described for Blood, the damage reduction, it's a small one, but it's what the same one that had in WAD. They have that, it's Shield of the Righteous still, but it's even better because it scales obviously with your gear, and it's got 3 charges. There's even a talent to get 3 more. If you consume all 3 and use it again, then you have 3 more charges. It's a 3-minute CD there, but yeah, insane. And it stacks up. So if you use all 3 back to back, then you have, I guess it would be 12 seconds of it. I'm not sure. I don't know how long it lasts, but either way, that is definitely like the most precise active mitigation in the game. Demon Hunters is good, but it's not very precise. I don't know. It can be, but it depends on the situation a lot. This one is stronger and even more precise. It's a short CD. It's a short usage time. It's a short. It doesn't last very long of the duration, but while it's up, you are incredibly strong. I mean, it's a very, very, very good mitigation. And on top of that, they still have all the shit they used to have, minus Divine Protection, which was the standard, just press this button, take less damage for a while. They still have Guardian, which is a 40% reduction for 5-minute CD, and then they still have AD, which saves you from death if you die with it up, and then it's still, I think, a 10 second duration for a 10% reduction. So those two things together, and then of course they have Light of the, no, that's the Holy Paladin one. Yeah, they have like a heal. That the more damage you have taken, like the less health you have, the more it heals. They have fucking Lay on Hands, which is a full health heal because it always heals your full health. And then they have a talent that allows you to bubble and taunt everything around you. So that means you're still tanking and you're fucking immune for 5-8 seconds. I don't even know how long it is, but yeah, those two classes seem a little bit above every other class. The Blood kit is insane, and if you're talking about just the kit, it's insane. The healing they can do is absolutely, it's just ridiculous. They have Bloodworms again. They have all kinds of healing. They have 4 or 5 different sources of healing. Paladins, they don't have a lot of healing. I mean, they still have land hands, which is crazy, but they have a fucking immunity. The only tank in the game, I think, that's ever had a real immunity that can actually tank while using it. They have an immunity, they have, a decent heal, but they have really, really, really good reduction. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Blood Decay has a good amount of healing, very high healing kit, but they don't have amazing reduction. They have good reduction. And then Paladin has good healing and amazing reduction. So between those two, I think you're going to see one of those two is going to come out on top. I've heard really good things about Druid. I haven't played it. I don't know much about the kit. I've heard it's very sturdy. They have a high health pool once again. And I guess they're more about, instead of dodging everything, they're more about like kind of outlasting it, which I don't know. Either way, it sounds cool. I think Bear is always good. And then, of course, you kind of have Brewmaster, DK. Now that or Brewmaster and Demon Hunter, now they're kind of on the same level. I think Demon Hunter is still slightly better because it has a stronger reduction, but it has also very good self-healing. That was an interesting point here as well last night when I was in the Monk doing the normal 5-man. I did pretty good self-healing. I did about, I think it was like 33k HPS, which was good. The healers were doing about 200k HPS, so not too, they were doing a lot more, obviously. But, yeah, it was a pretty good. Gift of the Ox felt like it was proccing quite relevantly, like pretty often. Every few globals, another orb would spawn. So it just really comes down to whether or not the mitigation, whether or not the active mitigation for a monk is going to be sufficient. And I think nobody knows this at that point. But Demon Hunter, meanwhile, is the opposite. They have good on-demand self-healing. They have, they're pretty flimsy, just like Monk when nothing's up. But they have a very good. They also have that magic thing. That's the big thing with Demon Hunter and even Death Knight too. They have a really strong magic CD. They're really the only ones in the game with that. Paladin could, of course, reduce the damage, but yeah, it's a little bit. You feel a little bit more important when you reduce it with a CD that was made for it. So Demon Hunter and Death Knight both. And then, of course, there's Warrior, which I was really hopeful for. I think they're going to be fine. Like, I don't... It's not WoD anymore. I don't think they're going to be, like, blacklisted from challenge modes like they were. But they do a lot of damage. Warrior, I think, had the potential to do the best damage because they have that 5-second automatic crit window every minute and a half, which is really good. Like, really fucking good, honestly. But... And then their artifact ability just does damage. Like, it doesn't even... It's not even for a tank, it seems like. It seems like it's for, like, a damage spec, so it's interesting. But I think Warriors, their single active mitigation, Ignore Pain, is probably one of the best ones in the game. But their kit entirely is kind of weak. Like, they don't have a good self-heal. They can take a talent for self-heal, but it's not amazing. Especially not compared to Demon Hunter and Bloodlock. Whoa, oh my god, I'm fucked here right now, guys. Blood DK and Demon Hunter is what I was trying to say there, but... Yeah, it's not I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the same game anymore in terms of tanks. They all feel pretty balanced, but I think everybody would have said this no matter who you talk to. People see Blood DK and think like, oh my god, they're crazy strong. They definitely are. People see Paladin, very good as well. But I think all tanks can play, man. I really do. And, people really giving Monk a bad rap. But I am not. I'm fine with Monk. I think they're balanced. I think they're going to be fine. Like I said, I did that normal raid test last night. At the item level I was supposed to be, and I was able to do it. So, maybe they'll be a little bit more gear dependent. That's the thing. Like, I actually lost haste going in there, and I was still able to survive. We were still able to kill all 3 bosses. It was, there was some really... The big issue is they don't really have, like, a crazy I saved my ass thing. Like, Paladin has land hands. That type of ability isn't in the game for them. Paladin actually has 2. They have fucking bubble, too. So it's like, you can't use both at the same time, obviously, but... You can use one or the other depending on the situation. Even Blood DK, they have a lot of self-healing. They have, they can take Purgatory. Same with Death Knight. Jesus, man. It's so hard to get Death Knight and Demon Hunter straight. Demon Hunter also has a Purgatory type ability. It's just a flat cheat death, actually, which is really good. They have some really good synergy with that. So, yeah, I think every class other than Brewmaster has something that's just like, oh my god, I just saved my life, thank god, kind of thing. Even Warrior, I guess. Nah, Warrior doesn't really have one either, but... So that's kind of it. That's kind of my stand on it. I like to see it going forward because I like tanking a lot, but it's really my only real interest is in 5-man. So you guys asking for like raid stuff, like I don't think I'm gonna be able to furnish that. I don't tank raids. Last night was the first time I tanked a raid in years. Like honestly, years. I've tanked some off raid stuff on live, but it's just I usually just like play it as a DPS. I don't taunt anything. I just try to max my damage. The Holy Paladin with the fucking Mythic Warforged Archimon trinket. So 93% health is the threshold. All I have to do is get melee to once and do crazy damage. But that's kind of just how it's been for me. I like to tank a lot in 5-mans. I've always liked that. That's kind of why I grew passionate about the game. I always loved 5-mans. Going back to Classic, oh man, I just remember, doing dungeons was always amazing. I always loved TBC. I always loved even Wrath when they were terrible dungeons. I still enjoyed dungeons. It just seems like the right filler content. Like even now, I log on and I just fucking do dungeons. Even on the beta, I just log on and do dungeons. Like it's the beta. I literally am just wasting my time. I can get some Titan Forge, but it's the beta. You know what I mean? The characters are gonna get deleted, and then now I'm gonna level a 5th 100. So I'm gonna have every tank class other than Druid. I already have, obviously, Warrior, Monk, Demon Hunter, Paladin, and then I'm going to have Blood DK. I started leveling him today. He's like 101-ish, but the servers went down. So we're going to get this video live. As you guys saw, the Ellie play was kind of cool. It was nice seeing 2 Elemental Shamans, so that's going to be a marker for the video, obviously. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was kind of just where we're going from here. I'm going to try some blood. I'm definitely going to get some blood videos out before this shit goes live. And honestly, I think, based on what I've seen, I think I'm just going to end up going blood for my main alt. I really like Monk. They're really fun, but I just don't feel like they have the potential to carry the group as much as other tanks. Like, even Demon Hunter has way more potential. I kind of like Demon Hunter less and less as I play them. They're fun, but I don't think I would be able to play them often. Like, they're just too active for me. So everybody who says tanking's easy now, like, go play a Demon Hunter, guys. They're really, 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 really active. If you're sitting on globals, you're a fucking idiot, man. You're really playing the game poorly. So that's the difference there. I kind of like Blood DK. It's a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, a little bit more, I have to think about when I heal, like exactly how I play it. And then, of course, they still have Gorfien's Grasp, which is always important. Like, honestly, the more grips you have in a dungeon, the easier things go. So we're going to give that a shot. We're going to level 100. So make sure, if you guys are interested in watching that, check it out at One Legion on Twitch. I mean, yeah, the Twitch channel is in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys there, honestly, because there's not a lot of regulars coming in. So it'd be nice to grow that audience a bit. But that's pretty much everything. If you guys have any questions about anything you saw in this video or anything tanking in general, let me know. This is going to be the last Monk one. It was Mythic Neltharion's Lair, and things went pretty well. As you can see, there's nothing really that wrong with monks, but of course, like I described, there's a few faults. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in another video coming soon.